Hi, I'm Shamara, if you haven't met me before, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about how I get to select a crystal for the day. And it's going to revolve around this little beauty called Crazy Lace Agate. And now that I'm not tied down by a shop or have a corporate job anymore that has timetables and things, I am exploring the world of being completely and utterly guided, well, as much as I'm able to, by my team. So it starts with me having a list of every possible activity I could be doing for the day. I now have just created a permanent list and I feel as to where I'm getting a yes or a no. You could use a pendulum if that's your best way of getting yeses and nos. In my case, I can just feel it. And on this particular day, I felt it was a day to learn more about crystals. So then it becomes, okay, how? So the choices were, am I learning from a book or videos? And I got from a book. Then it becomes which book? And that became one of if you're into crystals, you will have several crystal books. And this time I had to use Melody's Love is in the Earth. Unfortunately, it's a book from the 1990s. I got it in the early 2000s and it's disappeared from print now. It's just too expensive to produce. But the reason you may end up buying several books is the fact that each author will talk about the crystals with their own unique style. So it's not that so much that they clash with each other, it's just each one has had their own way of putting something. So if you watch my video about what rose quartz is about, you'll definitely notice I have a very particular thing that has happened for me over and over that I just have to explain to people who come to me how to use that crystal. So, as I said, in this case, it was Melody, and I was guided to which page. I won't go into all those details. If you really want to see me do a complete channel, let me know in the comments. And it was about Crazy Lace Agate or Mexican Lace Agate. And I went, oh, good, that's interesting. I haven't got much that I know about these crystals. Agate's always about strength, perseverance, courage. I wonder why this one today. So I look at the words next and I see what words jump out at me. So in this case, it was the second sentence, helpful during physical biorhythmic lows to bring the physical energies into a balanced and steady state and to increase one's energy levels. So I went, wow, that seemed really appropriate. I was unusually tired that week, and it was leading to me, instead of realizing that I was eating more because I was tired and going to bed, I just ate. And I was a little out of sorts, couldn't seem to have the energy to get going on any activities. I then interestingly watched a YouTube video by a couple, and they were talking about the solstice and that it was a major reset of our energy field. In fact, that our energy field had done a polar flip, and that made a lot of sense to me. That obviously I was then trying to integrate that process. And I popped this on and I yawned and yawned and yawned as soon as I just started touching it, which is always a sign that this crystal is starting to work straight away, and wore it for the day. And my energy was back. I didn't end up having a big eat fest the rest of the day, and that was a huge relief. The other thing I loved about this one was it talked about appreciating the games of the world. And this has been something that on a recent course I was on, they said, make sure you have fun with your business. See it as a game. Business is about the game of playing an owner, a game of playing a marketeer and things. And so I just love the fact that this crystal was also going to help me remember that what I do is a game, and if I can make it a game, I will enjoy the journey so much more. So I hope that insight gives you a little bit of an idea of how you can get your own personalized information about a crystal. As I said, if you want a lot more detail about how I do this in that very beginnery way, just leave comments for me. And I hope you liked it, and please subscribe.